We were both at the match yesterday.
Yeah.
I had a lovely time.
We did. Watching the match was lovely.
Yeah. It was, spring has very much not sprung
No.
in Manchester yet.
I was dressed for spring, having sprung.
Yeah.
I was just in a football shirt and then a light jacket, and everyone else was in coats and hats, and I realised immediately that I'd messed up.
You'd royally messed up. It was quite bitter in the cricket ground.
Yeah, and as Dad said when we were there, it's a terrible indictment on the state of the pubs around Old Trafford that we were stood there in the freezing cold, pouring rain in our hats and coats rather than go to one of the pubs.
It is, yeah. Also, they're all really busy.
Yeah.
We presume. We've never really been in any of them.
No, we've been in a couple of them, not for a long time, after the game.
Yeah.
And they were all absolutely rammed.
Yeah.
I mean, the Tollgate, I've been in it not on a match day in the last couple of years.
Why?
That's a soulless place. It's like a warehouse in there. It's really drafty. It's clearly designed to pack hundreds of football fans in there.
We've taken out all the dividing walls.
Yeah.
Nice.
We were on a pub crawl of every tram stop.
Nice.
And that's right by Trafford Bar. But I wouldn't recommend going there not on a match day.
No. I mean, I wouldn't recommend going there on a match day.
No, we don't go there.
We used to go to the Trafford Bar Hotel. We
went a few times, yeah. That was more before the game.
Yeah. We've never really been one for hanging around after the game.
No.
We've not to cast an indictment on people who do hang around after the game, but we've got all got places to be.
Normally, yeah. Although yesterday we went to Mum and Dad's and had a Chinese, which is
that is a place to be.
Yeah.
Especially on Mother's Day, you'd hope there weren't too many people hanging around after the match, and most people were getting straight off.
Going off to see their mums.
Yeah, which we were.
Yes.
Shout out to Mum.
Yeah.
For not minding that we all went to the match on Mother's Day.
Yeah. Chinese was, some would say, below its usual standard.
Would they?
I think I've heard.
Is that what the rumour is?
Yeah.
It was fine for me.
Yeah, mine was the same as ever.
But maybe I could, although maybe the hors d'oeuvres weren't up quite as...
I thought they were very good, the hors d'oeuvres.
Okay, fair enough.
I thought they were up to their standard.
Is this a bit too niche? Because admittedly, 3 or 4 of our listeners also had the Chinese with us.
Yeah, and at least one of the others has been to that Chinese.
Yeah, true, yeah. So that's a decent percentage.
But we've not said what Chinese it is, but...
well, no, we should. We have... If they want to shout out, they'll have to pay us.
Yes. But I think they'll return to form next time. I think it's just a blip for them.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah, they just need a sweet and sour chicken to go in off their arse.
Nice.
It'll be all right.
It's an odd metaphor. We've started a little late today because of circumstances beyond our control.
I had to pull over for an ambulance on the way here.
For how long? For half an hour?
Yeah,
pretty big ambulance.
Well, there were 2 actually. So that added up to about 10 seconds, all told.
Fair play.
Pulled over. But
we should crack on.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back to Red Army Reaction, where Michael Carrick's incredible home record has carried on.
Yeah.
And our incredible times at the match have carried on. We had a lovely afternoon. Never in doubt, really.
No. I think it was a case of when, not if. I think we were the better side. And there was a chance that we sort of laboured to a 0-0, but Villa really didn't offer a lot. So I was always it always felt like it was building to a win.
Yeah.
Which is a nice feeling.
Yeah. I've already forgotten. Surely, with that result, Champions League is all but secure.
You're hesitant to use the word guaranteed.
Yeah.
There's still a couple of big games to come. Still got to play Liverpool and Chelsea.
Yeah.
But, as we said last week, the chances of all 3 of them overtaking us are increasingly slim with every passing week. And, I think we're in the best place to do it.
We're the form team. We're 3rd in the league.
Of that section of the group of the league, yeah. So I think I'm increasingly confident.
Yeah, this was a very good weekend for our chances.
Yeah, massively, yeah.
We beat Villa, so they lost and we won, and then Chelsea lost and Liverpool drew.
Yeah.
Liverpool drew a game you would expect them to win.
Yeah,
Chelsea lost a game you wouldn't expect them to lose, really. So great weekend for our Champions League hopes.
We keep having great weekends. The midweek games are the ones that have cost us. West Ham and Newcastle.
Yeah.
All the weekend games have been fine.
Yeah, that's true, actually. So have we won all the weekend games,
We've won
including Mondays?
Yes, yeah. Since Carrick, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
It's been a good run, and we will probably cover the Carrick sort of equation.
The pendulum.
The pendulum, the Carrick equation later on in the episode. But I think in terms of because like you say, his home record is so good, in terms of restoring a good match-going experience and a match day feeling, he's done as much as he could have done.
The swing is quite stark between Amorim, especially last season. The feeling of going to the match compared to going to the match now. The mood beforehand is so different. It's quite. I don't think it was ever as bad as it was under Amorim last season.
No, I think you'd struggle to find a comparative period. I think there was times under Louis van Gaal when it was just so boring.
Yeah.
I think where we went, how long without a first half goal? Like 15 games at home
half a season,
without a first half goal. That was more dread for the sake of, sort of staying awake rather than humiliation, which it became quite ritualistic under Amorim.
Yeah. And a lot of them were quite dull games, to be fair, that we just lost.
We
lost 1-0 to Wolves at home and 2-0 to West Ham at home, 2-0 to Palace at home. They weren't exciting games that we lost. They were dull and we kept losing. Yeah,
it was, dark days indeed.
Yeah, which is the complete opposite of what we've got now.
Yeah. It was a slow-ish start to the game, pretty pedestrian from both sides.
Yeah, it was a quiet first half.
Yeah, definitely. We didn't watch the first half together.
No.
We were sat in separate bits of the same stand. And there was a lot of I think it was always felt like it was building to a win. There wasn't really a growing sense of frustration in the ground, I don't think.
No, I didn't think so. There were no boos at half time or anything.
No, it was because Villa are a good side and they were well organised and they were good off the ball. They didn't really do a lot with the ball, but they were good off the ball and kept United limited. But it felt like we had the right ideas and it would work eventually. Yeah,
we were always the better side, the dominant side in terms of the ball, which doesn't always equate to winning the game, but it did feel like we were just being patient with our build-up. Villa were clearly happy to sit back, and we asserted the dominance over the course of the game, I would say. At half-time, you could say we'd been the better side, but we needed to then kick on and actually turn the screw.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we did. I was pretty content at half-time, but if it carried on more of the same, the frustration would start to build, and we never really let that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there were times when, because we've been very good at set pieces this season.
Yeah.
And there have been huge periods in the past where we've been awful at set pieces. Yes. And there have been so many games where you think, we're doing all right here, but they're pretty settled. We just need to find some way to score a goal. A set piece is such a valuable way of doing that. And having that as a tool when the team is defending quite well, being able to score some from set pieces is massive, and it really unlocked the game for us. It allowed us, made Villa come out and sort of unsettled Villa. It was needed really, and we weren't hammering on the door from open play.
Yeah.
But when you are as reliable at set pieces as we are, then it's a very good string to your bow.
Yeah, and during those years where United just seemed to never score from corners or set pieces generally, we would look at the teams around us and say, oh, Spurs got a 2-0 win, quite an even game, and they scored 2 goals from set pieces.
Yeah.
Or Chelsea turned a game around late on with 2 goals from set pieces, and you'd think that,
you don't
they
have
just
to be,
get you to win games that you wouldn't necessarily have won otherwise. And maybe we would have done yesterday anyway, but yesterday was more of a case of that just got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And it just takes the pressure off then once you do get in front.
Yeah, and we're not so reliant on them. We showed yesterday again that we could score lots of different types of goals.
Yeah.
But that it's a very useful tool to have, as Arsenal have proven this season. If things aren't, if players are feeling the pressure or not in the best form individually, having something that is sort of not scripted but structured in that way that results in enough goals means that it's sort of like the old like Pep system where it was sort of completely divorced from who the players were. In that,
Yeah, you could just plug in any player in the squad.
every player had a specific role, and they were so well drilled. It's sort of like a microcosm of that, which is it doesn't really matter what form you're in or how you're playing on the night. A good ball into the box, you know your role, you know what you're doing.
You know Casemiro is going to score.
Yeah, it's really useful, and it proved useful yesterday.
Yeah. It was the 5th time this season in the league that Fernandes has assisted Casemiro
Yeah,
from a set piece. They're probably the 2 players people are talking about the most after the game.
yeah, I think so.
Do we want to talk about them now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think they are the 2 candidates. I think if you're looking for player of the season for United, I think it's pretty much a one-horse race for most people. But I think in the sort of also runs, I think Casemiro is right up there.
Surely in a one-horse race, there aren't any also runs.
No, I think it becomes a one-horse race in terms of it doesn't start off as a one-horse race. If we're using the phrase...
Does one-horse race, when you're actually talking about horses, doesn't that mean a race with just one horse in it?
But I think you would use it to describe a horse race with lots of horses.
That one horse won comfortably.
Yeah, you probably use it.
But do you talk about also rams in that case?
I don't know. Because maybe I'm sort of translating it from a horse racing perspective, but maybe in a horse racing perspective, it's sort of a hyperbole as well, as in it's as if that race only had one horse in it, rather than it became a one-horse race because all the other horses weren't really in the race.
Yeah.
I think if you translate that to football, you would say it's as if Fernandes is our only player this season because of how clear it is that he will win the Player of the Year. Anyway, I think Casemiro is 2nd or 3rd maybe on that list of who's been our best players this season. I think he's struggled off the ball in the Amorim system.
Yeah.
But I think it's difficult to judge certainly midfielders, and goal scorers are goal scorers, and in that system there were plenty of chances and they took a reasonable number of them. But midfielders are so system dependent in terms of their position, how exposed they are, what they're expected to do with and without the ball. So he suffered a little bit without the ball, but he's, in terms of application and his mentality, and he's added goals to his game really this season. He's been so useful in a lot of games.
His most goals in a league season in his career.
Yeah,
7.
I think, and since Carrick's come in, he's been very useful with the ball as well.
Yeah.
And him and Cobby have been a very reliable partnership. I think it's been really good, and I think lots of people, myself included, were chanting "one more year" yesterday.
How do you actually feel about that?
I mean, it's a negotiation. I think they probably decided between them that they couldn't come to an agreement on salary. I think that's probably what happened. Yeah. Lenny Yoro said in the interview yesterday that everyone wanted him to stay because everyone loves him. He's a really useful player to have around. And in terms of experience, we haven't really got anyone experience of winning major honours.
No, very few players in world football have his level of experience of winning major trophies.
So I think there's an obvious case to be made for keeping him on in the year.
Especially if we're going to be in the Champions League, we're going to have more games.
Yeah.
He's got so much experience in that competition.
Yeah, I think his argument, it will come down to whether or not he wants to take less money.
Yeah, and I don't think, obviously it's easy to be swept up in the sentimentality of one more year. And I'd love for him to stay. I love Casemiro, but we shouldn't be giving him another year
on his current wage. No.
A reported figure of 350 grand a week, and that's his base salary. So he'll be getting goal bonuses and appearance bonuses and all this.
Yeah, there's maybe room to move to a more incentivized contract with a Champions League winners bonus and things like that. But I presume these negotiations all happened.
Yeah,
and maybe a good run of form and this period of good form for the team and goodwill around the team might bring one of the parties back to the table in a different mood.
Yeah. Also,
maybe Casemiro could become desperate to stay.
Yeah,
he might think, hang on, there's something building here.
His heart might beat his head in terms of wanting to stay, and at this amazing club is more important to me than carrying on earning 350 grand a week. He's not going to be on minimum wage, is he, if he does sign?
No, he'll be doing all right. And there's other arguments. It may not be decided until the manager's decided, or the intention in the window is clear.
Yeah.
And certainly, I don't think it would be decided until the playing budget for next season, which is so dependent on what European competition we're in or not. So I think they've probably concluded there's too big a gap, and it would take something remarkable to change that from one or both of the parties. I don't think, and I hope it isn't United saying, actually, we really want to keep him, let's give him what he wants.
Yeah.
And it is a sort of more of a compromise on that. But I don't think you'd get many people complaining if he stayed. He's, perhaps not good enough to start every week for a title-winning team, but he is currently starting every week for a third-place team.
Yeah.
So it's not that big a gap.
Not a miles away. I'd love for him to stay. But also, if he leaves now, at least he'll be going out on a high. He won't be going out under a cloud. Like, if he'd have left at the end of the season before last, or at the end of last season, it was a bad period for him.
Yeah.
And it would have been, sad to see him go, and it was what could have been. But I'm glad he's had this resurgence. If he does end up leaving, he'll get a great reception at Old Trafford every week. He'll play every game until the end of the season.
Yeah, yeah.
Apart from one, because then he triggers his extension, doesn't it?
Oh, is that? I've not seen that. Is that?
That was a while ago, I think. But I think he gets another year if we play him in a certain number of games. But when that figure came out from the Athletic, broke the story, he could only not start one game from that point on.
Which he may have already
not
done.
Already done that. So
okay.
I don't think there's any chance of that now. But what I was going to say is there is, and I don't know how realistic this is, but if he wants to earn his current wage, there aren't many teams or many leagues that are going to pay that.
Yeah, yeah.
With Saudi Arabia being one of the big ones, if you're a player looking at his stage of his career to carry on earning that, that's what you're going for, really. And I don't know how the Saudi league's spending will be affected.
Yes, no, none of us do.
World events. And it might just be a less appealing destination to players.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely a factor. I think they have been scaling back the sporting projects in Saudi Arabia for the last few years and not trying to sort of pivot away from the retirement ground aesthetic and trying to sign young, competitive European players and South American players that other teams actually want.
Yeah.
And the days of them handing out mega contracts to aging stars, apart from the obvious exception, might be behind them. And he might be waiting and seeing, but I think the fact that they've made that announcement, they've already announced he's not re-signing.
He must be confident that he's got another option.
Probably means they've had the feelers out and he's not, or that he's willing to just retire, which is also an option.
But surely
you'd think if he was going to, he would
retire.
take another year at United if that was on the table. So we'll see what happens with it. I think it's another one that's massively dependent on what happens for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And they've probably, like I say, concluded that it's unlikely to reach a point where they can agree. But we'll see. Stranger things have happened. We've had players announce they're leaving and then re-sign in the past.
Yeah, and you could make the argument of Ibrahimovic is a player who we signed on a 1-year deal for free on probably very high wages. He was really, really good and got injured towards the end of that season. And there was still a lot of clamour. He was doing well in his recovery. There was a lot of clamour for 1 more year. We gave him it and he was terrible. He was injured for a while at the start of the season, then came back and played a few games and then went to America in January.
Yeah.
So that's what we don't want. You look at Salah, who's been given a massive new contract on the same wage, presumably, or maybe even more wages, and has gone right off the boil.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any chance of us giving him the length of contract that Liverpool have given Salah, but I'm trying to be rational and not just think, come on, we've got to give him 1 more year.
Yeah.
So I can see the positives of both sides. We're going to have to rebuild the midfield, whatever happens. Ugarte looks like he'll probably leave. So if Casemiro leaves as well, we need to sign 2-3 midfielders. Fernandes, is he going to leave as well? That's still a possibility. So
yeah.
If we kept Casemiro, that would make our job slightly easier.
Yeah, I think the Ibrahimovic comparison is a good one. I think what we'd need to make sure, the guarantee we would need, is that if he basically does nothing next season, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Because Ibrahimovic was on a lot of money,
Yeah.
and then to have a player on that much money, this is what's done for the squad building in the past, is having players on huge contracts that just are offering literally zero on the pitch.
Yeah.
Eriksen was on a big wage and couldn't get on the pitch, and Mount is on a big wage, doesn't get on the pitch nearly often enough. We can have players who are injury prone or don't play very much. That's a feature of having a big squad.
Yeah.
We can't have very expensive players who don't play very much. So that'll be where they'll need to get to in order to see it a worthwhile investment, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to say at this point, I don't think it will happen.
No, I think
I'm enjoying the ride of Casemiro's sort of,
farewell
tour.
Yeah, someone I saw in an Athletic, I think it was an Athletic article, maybe a different paper, that said he's only got 4 games left at Old Trafford. And I was like, God, that's sad. That
Yeah.
I hope he gets
And
more.
At least 2 of them are on Mondays.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one to see. The man of the match player, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, 2 more assists. That's a United Premier League record.
It
4
is.
away from the Premier League record.
Yeah. Great game for him. Could have had a 3rd assist.
Yeah,
Should have done.
It was a similar chance to Cunha's, really.
Yeah.
And Cunha's just shown you what to do from that position, and he sort of did a pass/shot that was.
I think he was passing.
I think
it's a mistake. It's obviously a mistake to do a dreadful pass. I think it's a mistake to try and do any pass.
Yeah.
Just have winning. You don't have to guarantee it's a goal. Just try and have a good shot and see what happens.
Cunha, Fernandes, and Bournemouth would all have shot in that position. So
Yeah, I think Ahmad
Sesko-
probably would have shot.
Yeah, I think So you expect him to be shooting from there, and this is the kind of thing we've talked about before with Sesko, where he is a young player. He's got a long way to go.
Yeah. But yeah, great goal, great cross for the corner. Like you say, it's becoming a reliable partnership, those two.
Because Bournemouth normally takes him on that side with his left foot, but Fernandes was taking him all game, and clearly it worked.
Yeah,
Don't know if that's something they've worked on in training, but
and then the second one was a classic Fernandes through ball. He loves playing through balls. He would play through balls all day long if you let him.
Yeah, and that was just turned having the ball in their half into a golden opportunity just with one pass. Didn't even take a touch, just came to Fernandes, and all of a sudden we're in on goal. And he's one of very few players in world football who can do that.
Yeah, and it sort of adds more fuel to the why on earth were you playing him so far away from the goal debate, because when he plays through balls like that and he's one line behind the striker and the striker can get in behind with it, it's a very, it's much simpler to get in on goal that way than if he's receiving the ball off the centre halves and playing through balls. They're not going to, you then got to do 3 other things before you get near the goal.
Yeah.
It's the most obvious thing in the world is play the world's best number 10 in the number 10, and he loves assisting goals, as we've seen.
Yeah, it's another unbelievable campaign for him. His numbers have always been incredible, but now they've gone up to another level this season that are as high as they ever have been, really.
Yeah.
No, his goals are less. He scored fewer goals this season, but his assists are
still
higher than ever. He's still got
7 league goals,
in the
I think.
league,
Yeah.
Might get to 10 goals, which would be good from midfield. You want your midfielder to get 10 goals, so...
Yeah, it's a brilliant campaign for him, and we've there's often, I don't think it's not always the case, but it's a lot harder to paint a player as being utterly world class when the team that they are in is floundering.
Yeah,
you do have it. We've seen Roy Keane speak this week about how can Elliot Anderson be so special if he might be playing in the Championship next season, despite the fact that he also played in midfield for Nottingham Forest and got relegated, despite being really good.
He was all right in the end, Ricky.
So, but you can have good players who turn up and are reliably good in poor teams, which was what Fernandes was last season. He sort of got us to where we were, which wasn't very far. This season, he's undeniably our best player, and he's the best player in one of the best teams in the league, which is a very much easier argument to make in terms of him being obviously a world class player.
Yeah, he's not going to have any hope of Ballon d'Or or anything. He's not going to be in the conversation because we're not in the Champions League.
Yeah, he's not played Continental.
I'm not saying he should win the Ballon d'Or, obviously, but
if he has a good World Cup, he could be up there.
He could. I don't think he's going to be nominated if he's not playing in the Champions League.
No, I don't think so.
and he might play a few games in the Champions League next season.
Yeah.
Before the Ballon d'Or, but I don't think that's realistic.
No.
But in terms of the Premier League, he should absolutely be team of the season, if not player of the season.
Yeah.
You look at Arsenal, Declan Rice is probably their best player, but there's no standout world beater. They're a great side. They've got loads of great players, but there's no star player.
I think the centre halves are there, but it's difficult to see those.
Centre half as player of the season.
Well, Vidic won it twice, but I see your point. Yeah, it's easier to see when a world class attacker than a world class defender. Easier, more visible.
So he's certainly going to be in the conversation, but I don't think he'll win it because he will get the assist one.
Yeah,
and I think they'll probably spread him out a bit.
Okay.
And Arsenal won't have the top scorer.
Yeah,
so they'll probably give the player of the season to an Arsenal player.
Yeah.
Which probably will be Declan Rice.
I think I saw some Arsenal fans online have not spotted the irony of the debate, which
that sounds like them.
So they are a big debate this weekend, big discussion of Fernandes Player of the Year.
Yeah.
All of the Arsenal fans saying, no, it should be Declan Rice. How can it be for Bruno Fernandes? He's only playing in one competition. It's not a fair comparison. From the team the fans of the team who would say that the Invincibles is better than the treble.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they only played,
they weren't playing.
Yeah, they didn't do anything in the other competitions, and United won all the other competitions.
Yeah.
It's a Premier League award. The player who plays the best in the Premier League, I think
that might be a reason why he's playing better because he's not playing any other competitions. But it doesn't mean he's not been the best player.
No,
you can't really apply logic to Arsenal fans online.
No, and I'm sure they can take it given what happened this weekend, and I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
The Villa goal shouldn't have stood. It did hit Onana. Onana said it hit Onana.
I mean, if it hit him, then it shouldn't have stood.
There's a clip of Gary Neville. I don't know if you see it on the highlights. Gary Neville's like, they couldn't conclusively prove it. That's fair enough. And then the camera zooms in on Onana, and for our audio listeners at home, you have to take my word for it. But Onana goes, he's like looking at a player, and he sort of points at his arse and nods, and he's like, yeah, it did.
So he's claiming the goal to his teammates.
Just sort of cheekily, if you'll pardon the pun. But so I think he's claiming it definitely did hit him. Yeah. In which case it shouldn't have stood because he was stood in an offside position.
Yeah. If it didn't hit him, which clearly the VAR were only looking at the clip of when it hit him and not his celebration. And it didn't. They couldn't tell basically. Yeah. I don't think it should have been overturned for that.
No, I think it wasn't.
That's one that goes either way.
Yeah, he's not in the line of the goalie.
He's not he's in the goalkeeper's.
The goalkeeper can see him, but he's not obstructing the ball.
Between the goalkeeper and the ball. But that could still throw you off.
Yeah,
if the player was right here, well, the ball's over there, then that's interfering with the goalkeeper's vision.
Yeah, I think the legal...
I've not really done well for the audio listeners there.
No, lots of points.
Sort of gesturing to where he would be.
I think the legal... This is often the case in football legislation and actual legislation, is that the legal definition and the sort of dictionary definition...
of the law.
No, I think the legal definition and the dictionary definition of the phrase interfering with play are at different standards. I think he's obviously interfering with play because if he doesn't move, the ball's going to hit him. The keeper thinks it might hit him. The keeper's thinking about all of these things. Yeah. All the defenders are reacting differently because of where he is. It's not like you can just delete him from existence and everyone behaves exactly the same. Yeah. He's definitely interfering with play. Whether it meets the threshold of the legislature interfering with play, I think it's probably on the fence, and therefore it's fine to give the goal.
Stick with the decision, yeah. I also don't think we have much of a claim to decisions like that, given the one in the derby a few years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rashford basically ran with the ball for 20 yards, but didn't touch it, and then Bruno Fernandes came on and ran on and scored, and Rashford was deemed to not be interfering with play, which I was very happy about, and that wasn't an objectively wrong decision. The referee, Howard Webb, said that's one where maybe offside would have been a better decision, but that could have gone either way. That's a subjective call, and this was the same.
Yeah.
But that one massively benefited us, and that was much easier to argue that Rashford had interfered with play. So maybe we'd due a couple of those against us.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those things about VAR where I think you just can't have repeatability because of the subjectivity in the wording.
Yeah, and people saying this is the line that's everyone seems to say is all we want is consistency.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
A different referee, different players. No two situations are exactly the same, so they're
You'd-
not going to be consistent.
As with all of football, you'd have to rewrite all of the laws in order to make it compatible with VAR, which they don't want to do. You'd have to say, oh well, if he's
If
many
he's meters between this player,
if he's directly in between the keeper and the ball, at any point, then he's offside. If he's not, if he touches the ball in any way, but then you get into sort of the double jeopardy thing where it's like, does he attempt to play the ball?
Yeah,
Is there a clear attempt to play the ball?
Because that's another one where the dictionary definition is different to the law definition. That's a deliberate play.
Yeah.
If it's a deliberate play, then it resets, and if it's not, then it carries on from the last person who touched it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean if he's deliberately touched the ball. That means if he's had the opportunity to control and play the ball.
Yeah.
So if you deliberately stick your leg out and it hits your leg and goes in a different direction, that's not a deliberate play. But if you sort of go to kick it and accidentally miskick it, that is a deliberate play.
Yeah.
Even though that's not what you aims to do.
Yeah.
That's another tricky one that doesn't really.
It's just not compatible with, trying to reach these. Maybe they need to switch to some sort of case law system where you could say, well, this is how it was decided last time, so we're going to decide it this way. But you can't do that very quickly.
No.
Lawyers get a lot longer to decide these things.
Yeah, like as we've seen with City's charges.
So I think a goal is fine there, and
I'm not gonna berate the referee for that one.
Yeah, and I think the mood was very much we should still win this game. I don't think there was. It was annoying to concede, but it wasn't
long after we scored.
Yeah, and then it wasn't too long before we got the next goal, so it was fine.
Villa's only real good spell in the game came after they equalised.
Yeah,
clearly their tails were up the away end, were a bit more lively, and we just had to get through that for a few minutes, and we did really. They weren't peppering the goal or anything. They just played with a bit more drive.
Yeah, I think Villa's problem they've got is all of their forwards are out of form and all of their midfielders are injured, and so they're playing Ross Barkley at number 6, which I know he is number 6. I know he did score, but he didn't do a good job in midfield. No. He scored from a set piece. It happened to fall to him. They're missing Tielemans massively.
Yeah,
and they're missing
McGinn.
McGinn played.
Oh, so they're not all injured.
No, but they're central midfielders. I know Arna's fit as well, but they've not. They've brought Douglas Luiz in, but they've got a few injuries in that position. Yeah. I think they're missing the Ollie Watkins of last season as well, who is just not there. He was awful yesterday, Ollie Watkins. He got outpaced by Maguire several times. Yeah. So I was thinking it was good that we had Yoro on because does have that recovery pace, and he showed it a little bit, but Ollie Watkins wasn't stretching the defence in any way, and nor was Tammy Abraham when he came on. It was a pretty comfortable day at the office for those two. I thought they both did well. I think it was Yoro's started 4 games in a row now, and I think this was a good return for him. He did well, and it's good to see. I think he's developed. He's come on a lot in the last under Carrick, and that's what we always wanted to see from him. He's ironing out these small mistakes. Yeah.
Just back to Watkins, it's happened before with probably players and managers where we've been linked with them. We've had the opportunity to sign with them and not sign them.
Yes.
And then they've played really well against us. Like Harry Kane would probably be an example.
Yeah.
We didn't go all out to sign Harry Kane, and he was carried on being the best forward in the world.
Yeah.
And people would say, why didn't they sign him? I'm glad that certainly wasn't the case with Ollie Watkins yesterday.
Yeah,
I think signed Sesko over Watkins, and Sesko scored, and Watkins was terrible. And Sesko's, 8 years younger than Watkins, so
probably on a lower wage.
Yeah, so that was a tick for the recruitment team yesterday.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Should we talk about Sesko's goal?
Yeah,
I think I was encouraged by the fact he went to 2-1, and the first thing Carrick does is bring Sesko on.
Yeah,
which
he didn't change.
He didn't.
He probably would have brought him on at 1-1, and I'm glad he still brought him on.
Yeah, you don't want to see him thinking, right, well, we're not bringing Sesko on now, we're winning, we're bringing on Ugarte instead. I think it's a good sign that he still sticks to that, and as was proven, having that 2-goal advantage, it massively makes the last 10 minutes easier.
Yeah, we probably don't need to talk about Sesko too much again, but the contrast between him before Carrick and since Carrick is just unbelievable.
Yeah,
in terms of his number of goals, he's now going to have a pretty decent goal tally for his first season.
Could get to 10 goals. Is he on 8 league goals now?
Yeah, 1 in the FA Cup. It's not. He's not set the world alight, but compared to how he was, he's gonna have a pretty good tally, and clearly there's a great striker in there.
Yeah, if he'd been at this rate throughout the whole season, he'd have a very good return.
Yeah.
So it was a good goal for him. It wasn't spectacular, but like I say, but it was a bit of craft and willingness, and we've
to score.
Yeah, we've said in the past that maybe he lacks the desperation to score and the aggression, and it wasn't particularly aggressive, but he did very well to sort of vault over Onana and make sure he was first to that ball and just leather it at the goal. And sometimes leathering it at the goal means it goes in.
Yeah, every striker scores a few of them.
Yeah, because you might get a deflection, and you never know what happens. You've got to buy a ticket. So
yeah, good
to see. Good that he's not. Well, it's not good that he's not just scoring really important goals, because it would be better if he. I mean, but no one just scores important goals.
Yeah, you don't want the team to only score important goals.
And you can't get to 20 goals a season if you just score winners and equalisers. No. You've got to pad that number a little bit. So it's good to see him doing that and getting a goal to make things a bit more comfortable.
Yeah. And that was that really. It was Villa had a couple of better half chances towards the end of the game, but because of that third goal, it was never in doubt really. And I didn't feel it was massively in doubt at any point in the game.
No. Lamans, again, just sort of comfortably reliable, going about his job.
Yeah.
Couldn't have really done a lot for the goal.
Yeah. And after the Newcastle game, it was a while before we played a big test, Villa at home, that everyone in the build-up was saying, this will be a brilliant game to win.
Yeah.
And then we just went and did it.
Yeah. And there's always, as you know, for every game this season, United will be fresher than the opposition and have played fewer games than the opposition.
Yeah, especially there's a few teams that's more true for, with Villa playing
Europa League
Thursday nights.
teams, and in European weeks, that's going to be an advantage, and that's fine. And you can use that as a slight, not a stick to beat this United team with.
Like a caveat.
A caveat on a lot of these wins is, well, some of them there've been red cards, and some of them the team's obviously not got the energy that United have. But that was also true for the first half of the season. All of these teams had played more games than us. We went out of both the Cubs in the first time of asking. This whole season has been us being fresher than the opposition, and you couldn't tell for a long time.
No, the other team looked fresher than us in a lot of those games.
So it may well be the case that it's, an advantage, but it's like with Fernandes, not he still has to be good. We still have to beat Villa, and we weren't winning these games in the first half of the season.
Yeah. And all we can do now is take advantage of the fact that we're fresher than they are and win the game. Yeah,
and that's what we did. And it was, I think, there was a potential for it to be a great win in terms of Villa had really turned up and put a lot of pressure on us, and we managed to overcome a really big challenge. But there's also a great win in Villa being sort of a bit run-of-the-mill, but us still doing our job and playing well and pressing them and getting the result that we needed.
Yeah. And obviously part of Villa not playing very well is because of us.
Yeah. So. I think we won the battle in midfield, which massively gave us the advantage. I think Kobbie Mainoo had a sort of quietly very good game.
Yeah.
He was, he's been... I've not criticised him too much in the last couple of games, but I think everyone was poor against Newcastle. I don't think he was amazing in the game before that. So I think he's not a goals and assist player that we maybe thought he could have turned into. There was talk when
there were periods where he was scoring more goals and getting more assists than he has been in this run.
And that's not what every midfielder has to be. And when you're playing in a midfield with Casemiro and Fernandes, who are going to get plenty of goals and assists, being a facilitator and being a high volume passer is more than a valid part of that midfield.
And every great team has had a midfielder who didn't score or assist.
Yeah. So I think I'm very happy with him, and I think he will look back on this season as perhaps one where he hasn't developed in the way he would like, but he's shown that he is capable of playing week in, week out for a team that wins most of his games. Yeah. And that's not been the case in the last couple of seasons. Even when he's been very good, we've been so patchy form-wise that you think, well, he can't be that good if, otherwise United would be better. Yeah. So it's good to...
You can't make that argument anymore.
Yeah, it's good to have these opinions vindicated by form rather than being in spite of form.
Yeah, he's always... Well, in this season, he's been a quiet player on the pitch. When he's poor, he's been quietly poor.
Yeah.
He's not, had an absolute disaster like when Casemiro has a bad game
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you notice it. But then when he's good, you don't necessarily notice it as much either. So
yeah, so it's good, important to point it out.
yes, and important to ignore it when he plays badly.
Yeah, that's the fans' job.
Yeah.
We don't claim to be impartial.
No.
A good weekend for United in the other matches.
Yeah.
We've Newcastle managed to do us a favour at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah. I don't like wanting Newcastle to win.
No.
I would have been happy with a draw there. I like it when Newcastle don't win, especially now that they've beaten us. But Chelsea losing is very good for us, so we'll take that. We're now there in 6th and we're 6 points ahead of them.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So, that's good. If they keep losing games, then that's very good for us.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a bit of an odd side.
They are. They looked... I mean, under both managers, they've at times looked like a really good side and other times just completely nothing.
Yeah. I think it's probably to do with the squad building. I think young players are so much more volatile in terms of form.
Yeah, inconsistent.
And, they've got... so Pedro Neto got sent off against Arsenal and Enzo Fernandes has also been sent off recently, I think.
Yeah, possibly.
And there was a tweet that said, we're not talking about kids here. These are the senior players in the team, Pedro Neto and Enzo Fernandes. Yeah. And they're both 25 and they're the senior players in that team. That's a bit of an issue. Yeah. And when, you have a big game midweek, it's a bit emotionally draining to get back to 2-2 or to go 2-1 up and then...
No, they get
back to 2-2 and then lose.
Twice away at PSG, which is not easy.
And then lose in that such dramatic fashion. It's draining. It's physically tiring. And then a team shows up who also had a big game midweek, but play in a less demanding way and played sort of on the counter a little bit. And
Newcastle's team are very fit. There are a lot of them, you could argue, are athletic over footballing ability.
Yeah. They sort of showed a bit of immaturity, I think, Chelsea. They were naive and so open for that goal.
Yeah.
And Newcastle exploited it really well. And Chelsea couldn't really get their foot on the ball to demonstrate their quality because they're just sort of a bit frenetic.
Yeah, they looked a bit lost, really. But good for us.
Yeah,
and
great for us.
We'll talk about Liverpool in a sec, but currently, who do you think of the 4 teams going for 3 Champions League places, who do you think's not getting it?
I think Villa might drop out. They haven't looked great for a few weeks.
Chelsea just beat them 4-1 as well.
Yeah.
We could very well have beaten them 4-1.
Yeah, if Sesko had better decision making. I think they just lack a bit of quality with the injuries they've got.
And it would be very Emery. He's got previous for looking like they're going to finish in the Champions League all season and then dropping out.
Yeah, I think it would. I mean, Carrick has just done a huge piece in the Telegraph about why isn't Emery on the list for Man United, and I think that might factor into it. I think his teams do burn out and burn very hot, and then
unless it's in the Europa League.
Yeah, so I think, and we'll see what happens to them in that. But I think that's what happened to his Arsenal team. They dropped out of the positions they should have been in and had occupied for a long time, and so that's what may happen again at Villa. Liverpool seem to be fine.
Yeah,
they're not amazing.
Consistent than Chelsea and Villa.
Yeah, they do.
Well, Villa are consistently poor at the minute. Villa
were
all the way up and then going down, whereas Liverpool are just slowly getting better, I think, over the course of the season.
Yeah, they don't look amazing. They didn't look amazing against Spurs, but they have a lot more quality in that squad than Villa do, certainly. So I would fancy them to get above Villa. But Villa could, Villa have shown in the past, they didn't score in their first 5 games or something, and then they were much better after that. So
talk of them competing for the title.
Yeah, so if Emery can pull something out and figure something out to arrest this poor form, then they could easily do it. You know? But I think they would be my tip at the moment.
And Liverpool definitely look like, after us, it currently looks like it's going to be us, and then Liverpool, and then either Chelsea or Villa. But any of us 4 could drop out of that. Liverpool would be my favourite, obviously.
Yeah.
But they look the least likely.
Yeah. It would be mainly because I don't think you can win the league while playing in the Europa League. And so them being in the Europa League would mean that I think it's very unlikely they win the league next year.
Yeah. Slot might get sacked if they
Drop out.
and then
They might get
better.
Good manager in. Yeah, true.
Slot is a good manager.
He's fine. Did you see Igor Tudor going up to the Tottenham player liaison officer, who is a bald man, and clearly thinking it was Arne Slot?
No,
And it's like pre-match, he walks over and he's like sort of looking, and he spots just the bald head, and he walks over and he puts his arm around this guy, and the guy's like, "Oh, all right." And Tudor clearly realizes that it's not Slot, and he knows who he is, and he's like, and then he sees Slot over there, and he just walks off to see him.
Like when you hold a woman's hand in the supermarket,
and it's not your mum.
It's not your mum.
Yeah, not that we do that anymore.
All the time.
I thought it was mum. Yeah, so it's that was very funny.
I've not seen that.
It's a good clip.
I have seen Chelsea doing their huddle around the referee.
Insanity.
Which is just bizarre. Which Liam Rosenior said it was to respect the ball or something.
Yeah.
I
think
just weird. He's a weird bloke.
Yeah, I think the referee's entitled to say, "I'm standing here because this is what I have to stand before the match."
The referee goes.
I think he's also entitled to say, "Don't do a huddle around me." That's weird.
Well, there's probably no rule around it. Is the referee allowed to dictate where the teams do their huddles?
I think if you tried to do it around the opposition striker, he might have a.
Well, the opposition striker would obviously get out.
It's just weird.
The opposition striker wouldn't put his hand up and say, "Hey, ref, can you break this up, please?" He'd just leave.
But it's still, you can't leave when they're already started huddling.
But you can see it while it's
Yeah,
happening. The
true.
ref clearly was watching them get into formation and just thinking, "Oh, okay, this is happening.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not going anywhere."
it's really weird. It's a funny clip.
Yeah, it's rare that you see something in football that you've never seen before. But
Yeah.
that's definitely one of them.
Did you watch any of the Liverpool Tottenham game?
I've seen the highlights.
Yeah, and I also watched the highlights. It was an odd game. Spurs actually sort of turned up.
Yeah, they played all right, and they could have won it in the end. Either team could have won it at 1-1, from what I saw.
Yeah,
I'm very glad Spurs didn't win it, even though Liverpool losing would be better for United. I want Spurs to go down. So a draw, I suppose, was the best result, really.
Yeah.
Because Spurs haven't done anything for their survival hopes, really.
no, the big one for them's Forest, isn't it? If they
Yeah.
can beat Forest, then they're not. They wouldn't be out of it.
No,
They
but
probably
that
need
would
to
be
win
a
another
big
two
step.
games to get out of it. But
And
that
if
would be
West
a big.
Ham were to win next weekend as well, then
Yes.
Forest would be in real trouble.
Yeah.
But
Well, whoever loses that game
yeah,
is going to be in real trouble.
But Spurs putting in a good performance and getting a point in a tough game,
Yeah.
because the fans, I think, were starting to wonder where they were going to get any points from.
Yeah.
After those first 4 games under Tudor, they never looked like getting anything from any of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it could be good for their momentum and their self-belief.
I think it might prove that it isn't as beneficial as the losing and Tudor getting sacked.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. If they play like that against other teams, they'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee they will play like that against other teams. It's not like they have a formula now by which they can play teams, because
No.
going to Anfield is completely different to going to the City Ground.
Yeah, and I imagine that's one thing Tudor's probably good at, is be setting up a team for a tough away game like that, motivating the team to defend for their lives and stay in the game.
Yeah.
And they did that well, but you can't do that at home against Nottingham Forest.
No.
Even though Nottingham Forest probably wouldn't score if you did that.
Yeah.
And Spurs would probably be able to win the game that way. I just don't think they would.
Maybe not. Maybe at this
employ the
stage
same
they'd do anything
tactics.
though.
Yeah, they should do anything it takes to get the points, but I don't know if they will.
Yeah, true. And then
Arsenal won again.
yeah,
Max Dowman broke the Premier League youngest goal scorer record.
he did. We've had this conversation a few times of the Premier League debate versus all-time Premier League record versus all-time record.
Yeah.
Because Max Dowman isn't the youngest First Division goal scorer ever.
No.
That record belongs to Jason Dozzell, who scored
yeah.
for Ipswich in the 80s when he was 16 years and like 30-odd days. Like, not much younger than Dowman,
No.
but, you know. And I think that's recent enough to be
probably
to
in
be
the
as
80s.
impressive as the Max Dowman one is. I'm not taking something away from Max Dowman.
Yeah.
I think this is taking something away from Jason Dozzell.
Yeah. I think we're we would be fighting a losing battle in keep bringing up the players who are the record goal scorers before the Premier League and all these things. I think the Premier League is just a beast of branding and
of marketing.
It's absolutely changed the landscape of football, and now the Premier League is all.
Yeah, and it's all Sky have decided that they were going to basically reset all the records and just use Premier League records to make the Premier League more important
because they showed it.
Because it was all part of all one big thing of the Premier League's new and Sky's got the deal, and it was this huge change in the football landscape, and Sky have done massively succeeded out of it.
Yeah, and they were obviously now as much as ever incentivized to hammer home the Premier League record. Thing.
Do you think they announced Brian Dean as the youngest ever Premier League goal scorer
at the time?
Yeah,
I don't think so. He was the first Premier League goal scorer. If you're wondering, they would have got tired of doing that all season. Wow, this guy's a record Premier League goal scorer who's scored 3 goals.
Yeah,
that would change every weekend.
So
fastest ever Premier League goal.
45 minutes. Yeah, I wonder what they I wonder at what point they started doing that.
They started using Premier League.
I think goal scoring charts, they can't have just never talked about the season before. They can't have just been like, because somebody won the league the season before, and they must have had the defending Division 1 champions. And
I don't think they just
ignored it.
So acted as if no football had been played before that.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Anyway, Arsenal looked like they might have probably got over the line.
Yeah, it was another game for them where they looked like they might not win, and then they did.
Yeah.
And they didn't play amazingly. They didn't play any amazing football, but they won the game. And City didn't win, so it's amazing. And obviously some people would have said this at the time, but most people weren't. When Arsenal drew with Brentford and Wolves, and City were winning their games at the time, how it looked like, God, Arsenal have bottled it. City,
they could have gone within 2 points at one point.
Yeah, and it looked like City were going to win the league. And now, a few games later, it looks absolutely like Arsenal are going to win the league, and City just aren't taking the opportunities to catch them up.
Yeah.
And it could change again. By the time Arsenal play City, that's in another month. If Arsenal drop points on a weekend where City win, then that game could be massively important. Or if Arsenal win and City don't, then that game could mean nothing.
Yeah.
It is incredibly volatile, and I'm guilty as anyone of thinking that every result means, that team's just going to win the league. Yeah. And there's also a big thing of whoever, that League Cup final's massive, whoever wins that is going to
have so much impetus that they'll be unstoppable.
I think that's not true. I think City could win the League Cup and Arsenal could still win the league.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what my point is, but I think Arsenal are going to win the league. And we'll revisit our predictions at the end of the season, but that is what I predicted. So
yeah, I think the struggle for most people is they hold in their head this idea that you can't, a good champion can win ugly and can grind out a result, but it doesn't make sense for them to do that for every result.
Yeah.
But Arsenal have sort of proving so far that you can do that, and it's fine.
That's just your way to win.
Yeah.
You win every game like that.
You can grind out as many results as you want, because every champion grinds out results, and they'll go to Wolves away and struggle, and maybe a real champion would have ground out a result there. But Arsenal have proven that in home games against teams that aren't really trying to score, you can still grind out a result in that game, and it's still a valid result if you never really look too much like scoring, but then their goal, Pickford comes flying out, misses the ball, and lands at the striker's feet, and he taps it in.
Yeah.
And then you score when their goalkeeper's in your box. That's still a win, and you still get the points for that. I think most people have struggled to sort of hold them in their head as worthy champions just for that reason. And I think
they won't go down in history as well. What an amazing team! But Arsenal fans and the club will not care at all about that.
Yeah,
right
no.
now.
There's no.
You shouldn't expect them to care about that.
I think we've not won the league for almost half as long as they've not won the league for.
Yeah.
And the team, a United team that wins the Premier League, will be exalted no matter what they do. And
would we care if we were winning all these games and we're top of the league and look like winning the league? No,
absolutely not. And we would
Chelsea didn't care when they won 1-0 every week.
Yeah, we would defend our team to the hilt and say, No, they are absolutely worthy champions because they're top of the league.
Yeah, they keep winning.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think they are they've shown over the last few weeks. Oh, City really have shown that they aren't the City that is capable of hauling back this lead.
Yeah.
And a lot of the title race hype, was based around the fact that City could be the team that can haul back a 10-point lead and could win 20 games in a row. And it turns out they aren't that team.
Not that. Yeah.
You know?
And so the title races of the last few years, when City have been that good, you can't afford to drop any points. If you're the team top of the league and City are second, you can't afford to go to Wolves and not win.
No.
Or Brentford and not win. But historically, teams in the title race, the team who wins the league will drop key points at key moments in the title race and still win the league.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more back to normal now that Arsenal, didn't spell the end of their title hopes, the fact that they drew 2 games.
Yeah.
Because the team below them are going to draw a couple of games as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And City have gone to Forest and dropped points, and gone to
West
Ham this weekend and dropped points, and that's
what
been the
happens.
difference maker.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fair enough. They weren't amazing in those games. I think there's been some debate this week of I think lots of people had billed this season as Pep's going to win the league as in his last season and go out with a bang, and people have compared the Donnarumma signing to Van Persie as the one, the win now signing. And we don't really know what will happen if he doesn't win the league. We don't know what would have happened if they do win the league, because maybe he wouldn't have left, and maybe he would have. Yeah. He's still got the energy to do another 5 years.
Thought of it both ways. Obviously, I want Guardiola to leave because whoever's City's next manager won't be as good as him.
Yeah, it's unlikely that they are one of the best 2 people to ever manage a football match.
So I sort of fear the worst always in life. So if City don't win the league 2 years in a row, then I think, Guardiola's not going to leave on that. He's going to want to stay and leave on winning the league. Yeah. But if City do win the league, he's going to think, no, I'm not leaving. I'll sign another deal. I'm not leaving. We keep winning the league, Yeah. I'm not leaving. So I don't know what will happen. I don't think they will win the league currently. And I think he will leave.
Right.
But I struggle to believe that. I'm just
sort of
scared
manifesting
that he will stay. Yeah.
Well, we saw this week they came unstuck in the Champions League as well.
Yeah,
so there'll be no coronation there. That was funny. They were really bad. Well, they were okay until Madrid really scored. I can't believe how good Real Madrid were. Real Madrid, I watched the full game. Real Madrid were brilliant.
Yeah.
And I didn't think they had it in them.
No, they had key players missing. They've got an interim manager, and they just really turned up. And going into the game, City were favourites. No team should be favourite going to the Bernabeu, but City were.
Yeah.
And then Real Madrid obviously reminded us all that they're Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think...
And that's what United should be. I look at Real Madrid winning all these Champions Leagues and just never being that bad. And I am envious because we should be on a level with Real Madrid in terms of the size of the club.
Yeah. It's recruitment. It's all recruitment.
Yeah.
They're missing the best striker in the world and one of the best midfielders in the world and one of the best wingers in the world. They've got Rodrigo, Bellingham and Mbappe all out. They've also got one of the best midfielders in the world still on the pitch in Fede Valverde and one of the best wingers on the world still in the pitch. And they've got the best goalkeeper in the world. It's recruitment. They had 3 18-year-olds playing that game, but they also had some of the best players, loads of the best players in the world. And there is definitely a culture of that club it's a big Champions League game. I think maybe this is what undid Xavi Alonso is the players don't want coaching for that game. They think we play for Real Madrid. We play for Real Madrid. We are good enough to win this game on the virtue of how good we are. You have ideas on how to be better than that, and that's going to distract me from being as good as I can be. Yeah. So I'm not going to listen. And they had a big falling out over it.
And even though the results in the league were pretty good, they've not got any better since he was sacked, really.
Yeah.
They just clearly the players just didn't like him, his methods, and that is a big thing at Real Madrid.
Yeah. And maybe we don't have that squad. We don't have a squad that contains multiple of the best players in the world. We have possibly one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
But there is a case to be made of, in playing for Man United, we should be signing the sort of players who can win those games without massively organised systems and massively prescriptive systems, and it should be about empowering the players to be as good as they can be, rather than trying to get in the way of that. And maybe that's what Carrick has attempted to do, and it's worked in most of the games so far.
Yeah. And I think success breeds success as well. Like, for Real Madrid, they didn't win the Champions League for 12 years, and then they won 4 in 5 years. And maybe the same will happen with Arsenal. The first one is so difficult, but then when all the players know they can win stuff, they keep doing it. And Real Madrid have just had that for so long now.
Yeah, it's 10 years
all believe
since La Decima.
The players all believe they can win any game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And they can.
Yeah.
So it was great to see them.
It was.
Because City, going into the game, you, again, fearing the worst, you think City could well turn up here and beat this poor Real Madrid side.
Yeah.
So it was nice that didn't happen. It's a League Cup final this weekend.
It is.
First trophy on offer. As United fans who don't want City or Arsenal to win any trophies ever, and one of them's going to win the league.
Yeah.
Who do we less not want to win the League Cup final?
I think that City don't care really about winning
another League Cup.
Yeah. So I think I want City to win it.
Yeah, and given that Arsenal are going to win the league,
Arsenal probably going to win the league.
And we want Arsenal to win the league.
Yeah, I don't want
too much.
City are less likely to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
So because of the Real Madrid game, so I want City to win. I don't.
You don't like using the word
no.
want.
City winning would probably be the least mentally stressful scenario.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, and they might, Arsenal might think, we've got this lead in the league now. We are the champions elect. Let's turn up and really show them, and
flex our muscles.
And put them to the sword. And I would enjoy seeing that as well. I think.
Yeah, I'd always enjoy. I will enjoy City or Arsenal losing a cup final. That's entertaining for me.
So that could happen, or City could think, "Hang on, these guys are,
they've not won anything.
Yeah, these guys are pretenders to the crown, and we can prove our credentials once again and really motivate ourselves to the run-in." So it'll be an interesting game.
Yeah, it's on ITV1 as well.
Oh, nice.
It's also on Sky, but they've got a partnership with the EFL coverage, which includes the League Cup.
Nice.
So I'll be able to watch a game. I'll watch
a game. No, you want just to sit by the radio like you usually do.
Yes, yeah. And I'm all for football. Big football being on terrestrial TV.
Yeah,
with
definitely.
The FA Cup on TNT most of it this season, and Champions League is no longer on terrestrial.
Yeah.
Ever. So it's nice.
It is.
It's a shame United are never in it.
Yeah.
And the Grimsby game wasn't one of the ones on ITV. Oh no, it was actually. It was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I wish it wasn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be nice for us to be in the final and maybe I'll watch it on the big telly, but sadly not.
Should we talk about Bournemouth?
Yes.
Another big game.
Yeah, it's
every game's no small games. No.
Yeah. They're not a team we've had much joy against in recent years.
No, you can say that.
I can't remember our result away there last season.
Our result away last season.
Bournemouth, yeah. I know the season before we won 1-0. I think it was on my birthday, but I didn't watch it.
Is it 1-1?
I can't remember. This is my supposed skill, if remembering United results. When did we play Bournemouth away last season?
It was the 27th of April, 2025.
So right near the end of the season, we were really going for the Europa League. I'm guessing we didn't win the game.
We did not win the game.
Was it 1-1?
It was 1-1, which I did say.
So
I was right. It was a 96th minute Rasmus Højlund equaliser that was rubbish.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
It like skewed right up in the air. Yeah, shocking. Semenyo scored for them, and Evan Nilsson got sent off.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that was bad. And that was a good result that we managed to scrape a draw away at Bournemouth against them then.
Yeah, we seemingly had the run of the game. We had 23 shots and they had 5, but we had a lot of those games where we didn't get anything from them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be a big game. I think there's another. You just want to keep knocking these over, really, and carrying on and full steam ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to say. I'm not saying that I would take a draw, but if we did keep winning our home games and keep drawing away games, that's a very good
That would
record,
be fine,
and
yeah.
we'd get plenty of points that way. So, Friday night game, we don't play a lot of them. I feel like we
No
had
one
one
plays.
at Bournemouth a few seasons ago that we lost 2-1,
Mm.
and they scored direct from a corner.
Great.
Great fun. It does. It's not a ground I like United playing at. I don't think we have very good results there.
No.
And
No.
Friday night doesn't fill me with confidence. Does obviously if United lose early kickoff on the Saturday, that ruins your weekend. And if United lose right at the end of the weekend, then you can take solace in the fact that at least I was able to enjoy all Saturday, most of Sunday without United losing. If they lose on Friday night, does that completely ruin your weekend, or can you just forget about that and start again on Saturday?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I suppose we'll find
out. Yeah, we might find out. I think. Yeah, I think we'll be all right. I think Bournemouth are very patchy. They seemingly play quite well at the moment. They've got ridiculously bad at finishing.
Yeah.
They just can't put the ball in the net. They've wasted so many chances this weekend against Burnley to only draw that game. So I think we should be okay, but then I thought we'd be okay against Newcastle. So
yeah, they are a good side. They got worse this season from where they were, but now they've sort of got back up to where they should be. Bournemouth as a club are more than happy with 10th in the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I don't think Iraola is top of any lists for getting the United job.
No.
He'll be a candidate, but I think we should be beating Bournemouth. They're a decent side. He's done a good job there, but I don't think I'm looking at him as a potential future United manager currently.
Yeah. It would be nice if all of the managers on the shortlist for the job Carrick had beaten whilst being the United manager.
Yeah.
Which he's already done with Glasner and Emery.
Yeah.
And he also, in his first run, he beat all the other good managers. He's
beat Arteta as well.
Arteta and Tuchel as well. And
he's not beaten.
He didn't beat Tuchel.
We drew them. But he's beaten Arteta again and Guardiola. Not that they would be candidates. But.
Do you want my theory on what will decide whether Carrick gets the United job?
Yes. It would be a bit rude of me to say no.
Okay. Well,
that's all we got time for.
I think it now depends almost entirely on the Liverpool game at Old Trafford. I think if we win that, he gets the job, and if we don't win that, he doesn't get the job.
Wow. Okay.
To beat Liverpool at Old Trafford in a big game.
Then you really are saying what more could he have done?
The mood around him will be such that they will not feel compelled. I really don't think we're in. I hope we're not in the case of we have to give him the job. No, I think he will be.
He will have
so obviously the right choice that they give him the job, and I think if he loses that, I think there will be enough caveats that they can point to in the case of not giving him the job that they won't give him the job.
Yeah,
that's what I think will happen.
Okay, that's interesting. I'd love. What if we draw?
Then it's the same as now, where we just evaluate on everything else. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I suppose we'll find out on Monday, the 4th of May,
when
we play Liverpool.
Yeah.
As in, I'm saying the game will be moved to the Monday.
Yeah.
Not
true.
that we'll be talking about on the Monday. That wasn't very clear.
No, I just assumed it was on Monday because all of our games are on Monday.
Oh right, no, it's not been moved yet, and it better not be.
No,
we have played Liverpool before on Mondays. I feel like we had 2 in a row, and they were both 0-0.
Yeah,
and Sky really built it up as this Red Monday thing.
Nice,
and then it was just a dreadful game. So I really hope it's not, especially because it's at Old Trafford. You want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
We don't know. We'll have a tough conversation about who's going to that.
Yes.
But yeah, it'll be a while before we find out whether Carrick gets the job or not. But it's another few ticks for him this weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Is that all we got time for? You had something else you wanted to?
Let me check how long we've got.
Any other business?
So Daniel Castle on Twitter, Man United Stato.
Oh yeah.
He has compiled and gone through every single starting 11 we've had since the start of the 2006-07 season.
Right.
So they've been.
Is that because that's when Opta started doing
some database, so that's their first one.
Yeah.
So we played 1,114 games, and we've had 1,022 different starting 11s.
In 1,114 games? we've had 1,022 different starting 11s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's not been we're not repeated.
No.
As was I told you the other day, the most selected starting 11 started 6 games out of the 1,114.
Am I going to try and name that?
I mean,
is it on there?
You can guess what team, what era.
Yeah.
Or,
So I think it was probably like 2008 era.
okay.
So Van der Sar.
No, it's not that era.
Okay, Schmeichel.
No,
De Gea.
it is De Gea.
Okay, a team that started 6 games under De Gea with De Gea as goalkeeper. I mean, 6 is so few that it could be any 10 players.
It's a good lineup. I'll tell you this one.
Yeah,
So De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Matic, Pogba, Greenwood, Bruno, Rashford, Martial.
Okay,
So it's pretty.
that's a good team.
Yeah. It started 6 games. That's a Solskjaer 11. That.
Yeah.
With Lindelof in Greenwood. Then we've got a team that started 5 times, which is also a. Oh no, this is that team. It started 6 games, which was 5 wins and a draw, which makes sense.
That's pretty good. Why didn't we play them more?
I know, yeah. The second most selected 11 is a sort of classic 2004. No, 2006 maybe. Starting 11.
So Van der Sar. Gary Neville.
Yeah.
Vidic.
Yeah.
Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Evra.
Yeah.
Scholes.
Yeah.
Carrick.
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
I know the team that started the 2008 Champions League final only ever started the 2008 Champions League final.
Yeah.
So it's not Hargreaves. Or is it Hargreaves?
It's not Hargreaves.
No. Don't know who's on the other side. Giggs. And then Rooney and Tebbows.
Rooney and Saha.
Ah, okay. So
It's
yeah,
a little,
it would be around
little
2006.
yeah. And then we've got a few that have started sort of 3 games and 4 games. Nothing vintage there.
It's like any 11 players could start 3 games.
Yeah, it's really weird. A fun fact: the starting 11 that started the Carabao Cup final, the 22-23 Carabao Cup final, started one other game. Do you know what game that exact 11 started?
So it's going to be an interesting game. Was it, I don't know, Ten Hag's last game?
No, it wasn't. No.
I don't know.
It was the 7-0 loss at Anfield.
Oh, wow.
So they only started 2 games.
Wow. Contrasting fortunes.
Yeah.
Because one fact on the same lines is that obviously everyone cites the 99 team as the best United team ever. And the 11 players that you would say would be Schmeichel, Neville, Stam, Johnson, Irwin, Beckham, Keane, Scholes, Giggs, York, Cole.
Yeah.
That team only started 1 game.
And it was the Champions League final.
No, Giggs and
Keane
and Scholes were both suspended for the Champions
League
League
final.
Yes. But yeah, that I don't know what game it was. It was some innocuous league game that season.
Yeah.
But everyone would say that was the 99 team.
Yeah.
But it's a squad game, yeah.
This is another interesting fact for you. So we've played 17 finals since the start of the 6-7 season. Only in 1 final had the team ever started together before.
Wow.
And that was the 2011 Champions League final.
Okay.
And only 1 final where the side ever played together again. And that was the 22-23 League Cup final.
Oh, yeah. So we shouldn't be doing that again. Next time we get to a final, we should
Never play
that team again.
But also never play a team that has played before because they lost.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll get this, but would you like to do a guess the 4-2-3-1, which has had the most starts per position since the start of the 6-7 season?
I can give it a go. De Gea.
Yes.
Who's right back?
Because Neville didn't play for that long after
that. No.
6-7.
Probably not Raphael. Wan-Bissaka?
It is Wan-Bissaka, yeah. Caveat, Dalot has had more starts than Wan-Bissaka, but not all of them are right back.
Okay. Ferdinand?
Yep.
Maguire?
No.
Is it obvious? Is it Vidic?
It is Vidic, yep. Another caveat, Smalling has also had more starts than Rio and Vidic, but not all of them are at centre-back.
There weren't many at right back, were there?
Well, enough to put him below Rio and Vidic.
Okay.
Left back?
Evra?
Yeah. Midfield 2, an odd midfield 2. I don't know, they didn't play together that many times, but they did have some overlap.
So, probably not Matic. Carrick.
Yeah.
And they had some overlap. Carrick and Fernandes. No, he'll be later, possibly. Carrick and Pogba.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't think Pogba would have played that many games,
No.
but he started since this season. He started the most of any centre midfielder.
Wow.
And then the three behind the striker.
I'm guessing Fernandes.
Fernandes at number 10.
Rooney is the striker.
Rooney's the striker.
Probably not Giggs. Giggs?
Not Giggs, no. Giggs, the last few seasons, Giggs didn't start that many games, did he?
Not on the wing, especially.
Yeah.
Rashford.
Marcus Rashford on the left. Then on the right. We've gone through a lot of crap right wing wingers.
This guy didn't play that many.
He did. He played.
It wasn't where he was crap.
No. I think he was the last great. Well, I'm not going to call him a great
Nani?
right winger. No.
Valencia.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, a lot of his games were at right back, so I'm surprised.
Yeah. But I think that's just the nature of the right wing position.
Yeah.
We've not had a outstanding
Settled.
candidate there. Ronaldo played there, but
He was more played on the left.
and he only had those 3 seasons in this time frame.
Yeah.
And then Rooney up front. Yeah.
Well, he came back, Ronaldo.
He did. Yeah.
But
true.
they were all up front.
Yeah. So I'll pick through some more of these tweets, see if I can find any more tidbits. But that'll do for now.
Okay.
But yeah, that's Daniel Castle. But don't you read it. Everyone else can go and look it up. But actually don't either.
That'll
But
spoil the podcast.
that's spoil the
for you as
podcast. But we don't want to not. We
Credit
don't want to not credit him.
well. You
But
don't want to steal so many people who could have read his
I know.
tweets who've listened to our podcast instead.
Anyway,
Anyway, thanks
That's
everyone for listening to another episode of Red Army Reaction. We'll be back again next week after hopefully another win for Carrick's Reds
yeah,
and maybe another few.
drop points elsewhere.
Yeah, hopefully.
We can close our gap on the top 2 this weekend if City and Arsenal play in the League Cup.
We're 7 points behind City currently, so that would be down to 4, which would be.
We've not been that
hard
close
to
for a long
believe.
time.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that confident about the Bournemouth game, but I'm just a pessimistic guy, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks everyone for listening. Make sure you're following us on social media. Leave us a rating on Spotify. That's what people say, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely do that.
That would really helps out the podcast.
Probably.
And yeah, we will see you out there.